episode of the Lisa Pezik Show. I know that I get so excited, and you can hear my energy. I can't even tell you in words like how excited I am for this episode because it's so needed and so different. We're talking about our pets. We're talking about quarantine life with our pets when we're stressed out and they're stressed out. Can we love them too much? Can we not love them enough? What are the emotions that are going on in a household right now? And what is that doing to our furry friends, our furry babies? Or maybe they're not furry, any kind of pets or babies that we've got in the house. How do we help ourselves so we can help them? So, of course, I'm not talking to you about this today. I have my amazing friend, Dr. Katie Woodley, here with me today. Hey, Katie.
Hey, Lisa. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you. I've never had a holistic vet on my podcast before, so first time for that. So exciting. And she's just a gem. You guys are gonna love her. Just like intelligent, smart, down to earth, wholehearted leader that is, somewhat going against the grain with some of the things that we're gonna talk about. And that's the most amazing piece, when you can see someone who challenges the narrative, someone who goes, you know what, maybe there's a different way we can approach how we do things. Those are the people that make change in this world. And I'm so pumped to have Katie here. I'm going to tell you all about her now. So Dr. Katie Woodley, I don't know how to read all these. BVSC, GDVCHM, CVMA. She's smart and she knows her stuff. That's what I'm going to tell you about all that. Is a proud owner, an expert holistic veterinarian of the Natural Pet Doctor. The Natural Pet Doctor is transforming the pet healthcare system through Dr. Woodley's expertise, her innovation, and her care. Now, when we're talking about holistic medicine, we're talking about acupuncture, herbal medicine, nutrition into those conventional treatment plans. So it's not like we're completely throwing out anything we've ever known before, right? It's a conjunction of that to improve the efficacy of treatments, enabling pets to live longer and more vibrant lives, regardless of the pet's location. I love that. You do consultations, telemedicine, and you help pet parents where holistic veterinarians may not be able or available, or to partner with those conventional veterinarians. So it's that team approach to improve treatment outcomes and enhance well-being. You also, which I love, the marketer in me, have an online component, online content, memberships. So no matter where you are in the world, Katie's got a membership to empower pet parents with the tools and support they need to help their cherished pet stay healthy while breaking the mold of traditional vet care. The current medical system is broken, but the tools we need to fix are available, so our beloved pets can be happy and healthy family members for years to come. Oh my God, I can just drop the mic right there and walk away. So I love that you said pet parents, because now Mother's Day was yesterday as we're shooting this, day after Mother's Day. And it's so true. Whether you are a mother to human children or you are a father to, human children, your pets are your babies forever. And tell me a bit about, how did you get into doing holistic veterinary care? Where did this idea or this love come from?
Yes. So all those little initials are just the certification. So
I love it. LMNOP, you got
yes.
here.
So I've loved animals, obviously, from the very beginning, like many people. For some reason, they always found our doorstep when I was growing up. My mom seemed to attract them, but she hated the part where they were hurt or anything like that. So she stayed in the human side of medicine. So I was exposed to all of that. I knew I wanted to be a human doctor or a veterinarian pretty much my entire life. And as I was volunteering in the human side and being a vet assistant, I found that I was more fulfilled with the pets. I love interacting with people and partnering with them, but those pets were just, it filled my soul. And so when I went to vet school in New Zealand, and which was an amazing experience, I was able to kind of see how they live off the land. We had a little lifestyle block and we're able to grow our own food and more holistic approach there. When we moved back to the States, my husband got sick with an autoimmune disease within 6 months of moving back. And that changed everything. I started looking at other alternatives to really strong conventional medications. And I thought to myself, why am I not doing this for pets? I'm telling pet parents almost every day that there's nothing else we can do for them. And I was not okay with it. And so I started looking into herbal medicine, acupuncture, real food nutrition rather than just kibble. And my eyes opened up to this entire world of medicine we're not taught in vet school. And so I started implementing and getting different certifications over the years. And a year and a half ago, I was like, nope, we're going to do our own business that focuses solely on holistic medicine. And it has changed my life. And I absolutely love it. There's, like you mentioned, we integrate in with conventional. So there is a place for conventional. We need conventional medicine. And I think a lot of people forget that when they hear holistic, but we need conventional, and we can integrate herbal medicine in, especially for cancer patients, into preventative care plans. We can look at where nutrition might not be helping those pets and where we can maybe switch to a balanced home cooked diet or maybe even a raw diet if that works for that pet. But what I love is that we look at the whole pet. Whereas conventional, we tend to treat symptoms. With holistic medicine, especially Chinese medicine, we're looking at the whole pet. Where are those imbalances? Why did that problem happen? Where's that root cause and how do we fix it? So we're supporting whole body health, and that's why each treatment is individualized and so different. Whereas conventional medicine, every disease, you follow that same treatment plan, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't work, you run out of options pretty quickly. So I love holistic medicine.
I can tell, listeners, you can't see her, but she's beaming like, piglets coming out, ear to ear smile here. And I love that in your story, really, you followed what you're passionate about. Like, you got an idea, you saw an idea, you saw firsthand in your husband's life, like, look at the blessing in that of him getting sick. If you can find a blessing in that, right? It's like that opened up your eyes to, there's different ways to tackle. It's not just one road, one path, one way. And I think you're right. We get into that. We're told there's only one way. So we don't even think about sometimes holistic stuff. I mean, I think the world is changing a bit more now, where people are looking at more holistic things. But like, I can remember back, even when I was having Oliver, like our son, I wanted the home birth, like hypnobirthing, like no intervention. And people were like, she is crazy. Like, you would have thought I said I wanted to like go out in the middle of the desert by myself and squat behind a tree. Like, I was like, no. I'm not opposed to intervention. Like, if there's an emergency or something happens, I understand. But I don't want that to be my first option. This is the only way that you go, kind of thing. And that's why I find, and I'm sure you do too, like the education piece is so necessary. People don't know the options there if we don't tell them about it. And do you find that people know about you? Like, they know what you do? They even know that this is available for their pets? Or have you kind of had to overcome a hurdle of like, hi, I work with, like, I can work with that too, but here's what I do, kind of thing?
There's a huge hurdle. And, I'm in a town with a major vet school that doesn't believe in holistic medicine. And so that's something to overcome. And my mission is to just increase exposure. The more pets we see and the more pets we change their lives, people's eyes have to be opened up. There's a huge education piece, but a lot of people find me because they're frustrated with conventional medicine. Mm-hmm. Some already know about holistic because they do it for themselves and their own personal health. And they're like, there's got to be a holistic vet. And there's just not that many. And conventional vets, they either don't know or they don't believe in it, so they don't recommend it. There's two routes there. And if they just don't know, that you can't fault them. We're not taught it in vet school. And so that's the hard part. So that's part of our mission of our business, is how do we increase education through webinars and pet membership and increase access to holistic medicine regardless of where you are, because there's just not enough people. It's changing. You know, vets are they're getting more certifications and doing the education because clients want it. And what happens is those people will leave conventional vets if they ask about it and they're shut down. So eventually conventional vets are going to have to be more open to it too, or start becoming more educated in this area, or else they're going to lose clients, because I see them, they come to me, and I'm glad that they decide there's something more and they take that power back into their hands, because there are so many other things we can do, especially when your pet has allergies or has severe anxiety and drugs aren't working. You know, there isn't, I don't think there's a place for saying like, just deal with it. There's nothing else we can do. There's always something else we can do. It's just a matter of finding who can help you.
And that's the worst, when you hear that with a pet, that there's nothing else we can do. Like, that is the worst thing. That's like the worst feeling, pet or human life or anything. Like, sometimes that news is so hard to hear. And if there is truly nothing else to do, that is one thing. But if there are options and people just don't know about it, you think about the disservice there, because really there are other things, you know, they just might not know about it, or they might not support it. It might be someone's opinion that isn't going to recommend, and that's not what we want, right? We want to do everything we can. I love what you said about happy and healthy to live longer and more vibrant. Because even in human life, we were like, oh my God, we're living longer than ever. But what is your quality of life at 90 and 95 and 98 and 89 and whatever age, right? Like 107 or whatever. It's like, what is your quality of life? It's not necessarily about living longer. We want that for sure, but you want the quality to be what it is. So I love that is the focus, because, you know, nobody ever wants to suffer or see their pets or their loved ones suffering, right?
Yes, correct. And I think the biggest thing with that, I work with a lot of patients that have cancer. And, you know, that's where you kind of hit the end of the road for a lot of them with conventional. They fail chemotherapy or other treatments. And it's like, what do we do? I'm not ready yet to let them go. And integrating herbal medicine in has been huge. Integrating in like CBD or other supplements, if that works for that pet. Yeah. And what I find in having pets that have had cancer and keep, you know, helping their quality of life and helping them to feel good, they don't know they have cancer. They still have it, but they don't know they have it. And then they get to a point where all of a sudden their body is done. And now that pet parent had months of good quality life with them and great memories. And you reach that point, and it wasn't that up and down roller coaster that we tend to get with conventional, especially with like cancer treatment, where they're feeling good, then they feel really bleh. They're not doing good. And you're like, is it time yet? And then they bounce back, and you're just going, your emotions are all over the place. You're watching them. You're like, I don't know what to do. But when we integrate herbal medicine and holistic medicine into those conventional treatment plans, we can keep them on a steady state and they feel great. They might have a few little blips, but they bounce back a bit faster until their time has come. And then you help them pass peacefully. And it was an easier it still is hard. It's still horrible. Like cancer, I hate cancer. Had to deal with it too many times in my own life. But they get to that point and you're like, wow, we gained so much more time with them. And it was so good. They felt so good the entire time. And that's what I love about it. And you get to see that, and with, you know, the pet parents, and like, they're so grateful, and you gave them hope again. Like, people need hope.
Yes. And it's not the death that you can't deal with. It's that dramatic roller coaster up and down, good day, bad day, good morning, bad afternoon. So-and-so's got some life today and that's amazing. Oh my gosh. And then the next day they're so sick. Like it's that up and down roller coaster that makes it so emotional and so hard. So if you can ease some of that, that's what it's about, right? That's
Yeah,
you
it's
remember.
huge.
You remember. You do remember the day your pets pass. We've had 4 cats and a dog that we've had a lot of but they were old, but still it's like you do remember when they pass, but you remember that last week or that last month when you had to make the decision, and that is so hard. That's the part that's like, oh, well,
Yes.
of course. Okay, so let's talk about stress going on right now. I was sharing with Katie earlier about how like we have 2 cats that are rag dolls and they're love bugs, but they're just not used to like our 6-year-old Oliver, like he's smothering these cats, like picking them up every 5 minutes, kissing them and hugging them and, well-intentioned, but, the cats are like hiding because they're not used to being smothered every 5 minutes of the day. And I think, let's talk about like quarantine life with pets right now, walking the dog 17 times or smothering them 20 times, or even just the cats like being in the way, or dogs or on the Zoom calls. And like, what have you found is going on with pet life and stress in this quarantine time?
Life's crazy. So pet life is even more crazy. We've got the animals that are loving it. And then there's the animals that were loving it and now they're tired because they've gone for, 13-mile walks every day and they're not used to it. So, and then you've got the cats that, we were talking earlier, they're loving the love. And then there's the ones that are like, please, you've actually entered my space. This was sacred. You were supposed to be at work and now you need to go back. And so there's been a lot of changes in routines. And that's where it like comes down to like the routines have all been messed up. So for humans, for pets, and some are loving it and some are not liking it. And it's creating a whole lot of stress and anxiety. And so with stress and anxiety can come physical manifestations of disease. So if you're noticing like your cat's getting an upset tummy, they're vomiting more, they're having loose stool, or your dog is getting loose stool when it seems like you're more stressed, our pets are so connected to us that stress is getting to them and it's actually irritating their gut. And so that's the most common symptom we can see when there's a stress problem. And so what can we do? Because right now we're in this phase where a lot of people are starting to go back, and maybe you're still working from home, but there's going to be this transition phase. And what we need to do is we need to start establishing a routine for ourselves and for our pets, because routines are going to help our stress and they're also going to help your dog and your cat. And it can be hard because I have a cat that has to be on my lap while I'm working, or else she destroys everything in my office. Like I'll be on a Zoom call and like things will be like flying back here. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, did you hear that? No, good. Okay. So there's animals that have to be with you, but we need to start creating safe, quiet places for them to go to get used to the routine that was before all of this happened. So if you have a dog that likes to sit in your office, you're going to need to help them get used to sitting on their mat again. And the way you can do that is by using treats, like using something that they love. Maybe if they're not food motivated, using a toy that they love, getting them to sit calmly, reinforcing that behavior positively with petting them. Kongs are great for freezing baby food, canned pumpkin, a little bit of peanut butter, oats mixture, pack that in there, freeze it, and get your dog to settle on the bed and give them as a reward, and then close your door. So it's hard, but what you're doing is you're getting them used to you potentially not being with them all the time. And then decrease the 17 walks to your normal routine. So getting back to maybe you walk them first thing in the morning and you walk them at night. So rather than every single break that you have, you're taking them for a walk. That's really important. And also one of the things that's a big stressor for cats, like you mentioned, Lisa, is, the kids and grabbing the cats and things like that. So what can you do, right? Because it can be hard sometimes to control the kids and tell them no, and then they're stressed and everyone else is stressed and everything escalates, right? Everyone's crazy and upset and it's no good and the cats are running. So, so what you can do is make sure the cats have a safe zone. So this would be an area in the house that the kids can't get to, that there's a sleeping place. Maybe there's a cat tower they can go up high, and a little box that they can hide in, or a bed they can go underneath, a litter tray, and food and water. So if they need to, they have everything they need in that room. So your cats are going to be a little bit more sensitive to these changes, but dogs are being affected too. So those routines are really important to start scheduling right now, getting back into a routine for yourself. That'll help you too when you go back and you have stress going back. Waking up at 5 again, if you're waking up at like 9 a.m. I don't know what your routines are, but getting used to that again and feeding the pets certain routines also. Because there could be a lot of change right now with having the kids home. They might be getting extra like food at lunchtime. You might be giving them extra food to get them like to sit somewhere else. And so getting them used to that again will create so much more peace in the household and will hopefully prevent, especially dogs, from developing separation anxiety when you go back to work. You don't want to come back from work and find your house destroyed because your pet was anxious.
Yeah, I think that's huge, the separation anxiety piece, because as you said, our pets just aren't used to having people home. If you don't normally work from home, they're not used to having you there 24/7. And it made me think about the feeding schedule too, because we've been pretty good with keeping a routine of getting up at a certain hour and feeding them, but never even thought about that. Yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh, I sleep in till like 10 o'clock now. And it's like, well, if you were up and out the door by 7 a.m. feeding your pets, they're probably feeling that. Like, they're hungry, I'm sure. Like 3 hours later, you're feeding them than normal. That's a disruption in their routine too, right?
Yeah, and it affects like bathroom behaviors too. Like a lot of dogs need to go to the bathroom right after. So if they don't have access to a dog door, you might be coming home to some accidents in the house too, where they're not used to it. And those dogs that are house trained, that's actually really stressful for them. They're going to the bathroom, they're trying to hold on to it. If they can't help it, they might poop in the house. And then you come home and you might be upset because you're stressed from work. You're yelling at them. You're like, why did you do this? And they couldn't help it. So that's a big thing, like making sure you're getting back to that normal routine to get their bathroom behaviors, their walks regular. They'll be more settled, allowing your cats to sleep again for 20 hours a day. Like
the poor cat the other day, it was sitting, I don't know, listeners can't see, but there's like a bench behind me. So the one that Oliver loves to like smother, it literally was like standing on the bench, and it literally was like this, like,
oh, he's so tired.
standing up, and I was like, oh my God, we need to leave this poor cat. It was so tired. And I was like, because every time it falls asleep, oh, it kisses in, smothers it. And we're like, this poor thing. Because you think about if you were trying to sleep at night, or moms, I mean, we're all over 6, so we're a little bit past that phase, but you think every hour when your kid was waking up, how tired you were. We're essentially doing that same thing to our pets, and we're picking them up and loving them every 3, or saying you want to go for a walk every 10 minutes, right? Like, we're essentially doing the same thing, to them for sure. So I love that thought about the safe, quiet zone, giving them that special space, getting back on a routine, a little bit of that separation, because that's pretty drastic when you think about, even with COVID, there wasn't much of that happened pretty quickly, that people were like shut down, don't go to work, stay home, schools closed. Like, there wasn't a smooth transition period by any means coming into this.
Yeah, it was like a week, like all of a sudden you're at home. So it makes a huge difference. I mean, that's why we all feel, it wasn't like gradual transition in where you're not used to seeing people. Well, now your pets, you're like there all the time. I see so many comments from friends, like their dogs are tired from walking so much. And it's, it's the thing that people want to do and get out, and it's good to get your dogs out, but it's creating a lot of stress for them too, not having that normal routine again. So
what are some of the big ways that you know your pets are stressed, like dogs,
yes.
cats? How do we know?
Yeah. So if you have a dog that starts like pacing or vocalizing more, some dogs are going to be more vocal anyways. Our last German Shepherd, he would always talk to us. So if he became more vocal and talkative, then that would be a sign. One of the signs that a pet is stressed for a dog is excessive yawning. So that's one of the things where people are like, oh, he's so cute, maybe he's tired. No, he's actually anxious. And so you'll see it when you talk to them. And we with our shepherd, they tend to be a more high energy, anxious breed anyways. We would tell him to do something, and sometimes he would yawn at you instead of doing it, and then he would do it. And I'm like, you're anxious. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to do it. So if you're noticing your dog is yawning a lot, that can be a sign. Also, if they're more lethargic or tired, their appetites are down. A huge one with cats is inappropriate urination. They're peeing outside the litter tray. So spraying on the wall or pooping outside the litter tray. That can be a big sign of stress. You do want to make sure if you're seeing any behavior changes or changes in appetite or weight loss, you want to rule out a medical condition first, because they can look very similar to many diseases. So take them into the vet, get them checked out. But if you're noticing changes like that, and you're also feeling those signs of stress, so signs of stress in us, increased heart rate, sweaty palms, feeling restless, unsettled, you're irritable. Same with pets. Like your dogs, if they're snapping at you all of a sudden, they're irritable. They're getting more aggressive. Your cats are like biting you or scratching more. They're probably saying, hey, I'm stressed out. I need a break. So just like us, our pets show similar things where we get irritable. Leave me alone. I'm going to snap at you if you keep that up. You're irritating me.
Oh my God. The other night, Oliver was like fighting us because he didn't want to go to bed. So he was up late, and we finally got him to bed, and I go into my bed. So our cats don't bite. They're like playful, but like super cute. I go in, just made me think, I go in bed, and I put my feet under the covers, and I'm about to turn the light off, and the cat comes bolting in, jumps on my bed, and lunges and jumps and bites my feet.
Oh,
like,
I've had enough of this.
What psychoness just happened in our house? But I was like, this poor thing probably needs some release, because I was thinking, I wonder if it's even noise related, because they're probably I even think about we are cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner every night, since COVID started. However many weeks we've been doing this, for 8 weeks, 9 weeks, however many weeks it's been, just the sheer volume of us talking and the pans going and the sink turning on, and there really isn't a lot of quiet in our household. And that's why I was starting to think the cat didn't attack me, but I was just that was really random that he jumped up, bit me, and then ran away. I was like, oh yeah, crazy.
Yeah, they're being overstimulated.
Yeah,
they're not getting rest. When you think about us, when you get really tired, and get stressed, you overreact to little things, or and our pets, they do the same. So yeah, they're probably getting a bit irritated. So
that's the only thing I can think of is the cat's I had enough.
Sneak attack.
A quiet space, or I'm gonna attack you one way or another. You'll get it. I love it. So is there anything, so let's say we've got the routines in place, the safe, quiet space, we're letting them get rest, we're putting those practices in place for to deal with the separation anxiety, yet they're still stressed. Is there anything that we can give them? Anything else we can do, natural stuff, over the counter stuff, other stuff? Is there anything you can recommend if, we really if maybe your pets were stressed out to begin with and you were managing it, and now it's oh my God, no wonder why they're so stressed.
Yes.
Anything we can do there?
Yes, there's lots of things that we can do. So there's pheromone plugins that you can use. So I recommend this for your kitties, actually. So it's called Feel Away. And they come in sprays, or they come in like, it's like a Glade plug-in, but it releases pheromones. And so we don't smell it. It's safe. So it's not like a Glade plug-in. It's still safe for your health. So you plug it in. Yes, exactly. So when a cat rubs against like a sofa or something like that, they're releasing a pheromone, like a feel-good, happy pheromone. So they took that, of course, and they bottled it. And we use this for our 2 cats that we just recently adopted. And you can plug that into the outlet where whatever room they spend most of their time. So if you have a safe zone where your cats are spending most of their time, you plug it in there and it just diffuses throughout the air. So that's a great way to start using that. There's also a dog one called Adaptil. They also have, I think, a collar that you could use on your dog, or the spray. So you could spray it on a bandana, put it around your dog. Now, for dealing with like severe anxiety, these like holistic remedies, these natural remedies are probably not enough by themselves. So you can safely implement them all together. So you're getting a synergistic effect from these different modalities. So your pheromone spray, so Feel Away Adaptil, would be number 1 I would start using right away. And then you can also use calming teas. So we drink like sleepy time tea. And so that's like lavender, chamomile, there might be valerian in there. And so lavender and chamomile, and valerian too, but the first 2 are super, super safe. Like you're not going to cause any harm by giving these to your pets. And so you can brew a cup of tea for yourself, you can brew a cup of tea for your pet. And what you'll do is remove the tea bag and pour that liquid into your pet's food. So they're just going to eat their food. And usually, so it tastes good. It's not bitter. So they're probably going to just eat it. And you're using something that's really cheap from the store. So use an organic tea so you don't have like pesticides and other things in there. So traditional medicinals, I think is what it's called, is a great brand. It's a human brand that you can use. And they have a lavender one. They have a chamomile. They actually have a lavender and chamomile one. So brew that, put it in the food once a day. Do it at night if they're more anxious at night, or if you're worried about them having separation anxiety when you go to work, do it in the morning. The other thing, alongside the plant therapies, essential oils. Essential oils are very, very powerful. They can also cause harm if you're using essential oils that are adulterated with, fragrances and other things, especially with cats. So you want to make sure you're using pure, therapeutic, organic essential oils. Some of the brands that are more common that are safer would be like Young Living, doTERRA, Animal EO, which is made by Dr. Melissa Shelton. She's a fantastic resource and has safe essential oils for birds, cats, dogs. And so you can go to her website, just Animal EO, and order those from there and I would start by diffusing them. So get a diffuser, put 1 drop of, lavender, 1 drop of chamomile into that diffuser and diffuse it in your house. And so those 3 things are really, really helpful. CBD is a really common thing right now. So most people have heard about that. We can use that to reduce anxiety. So there's CBD dog treats that we can use. There's also tinctures that we can use that tend to be more concentrated. There's cat versions, there's dog versions. There's a lot of really bad products out there. So you want to make sure you know what to look for in your CBD, because there may not be any CBD. There could be lots of chemicals. There could be pesticides, bacterial contamination. So there's a lot of different factors you want to look at. I talk about it on my blog. I have a CBD blog post that talks about like certificate of analysis, what you want to look for in a CBD product. One of the brands that I've used for years and highly recommend is Vet CS. So they're fantastic. They have a cat version that's a low odor, and it's also flavored with salmon to make it more palatable, because that's the downside with it. It doesn't taste the best, as you can imagine. But that's really, really good option. You want to use a lower dose. More is not better with CBD, and it can actually create more anxiety. So start small, start with a drop, see how your pet does, and you can work your way up, and you can implement in those other things that we just talked about.
Oh my gosh, that's like gold. And I'll see if you send me the link to your blog post.
Yeah.
Show notes as a reference.
Perfect.
For people to go to. I could just like see the essential oils diffusing and the tea there. Like it's a stress reduction for the whole family if you need it in this time, because as we know, energy is transferable. It's like if you're stressed, they're stressed. If you're calm, hopefully they're going to be more calm. So I love that. The sprays, the plugins, the oils, the CBD, that was just amazing teaching and all completely doable stuff that we have access to that will make a huge, huge, huge difference. Again, it's never, I know for me, because we had a dog, I was sharing with Katie before we were talking earlier on, I had a dog that had gut issues and couldn't eat any of those, allergic to, we actually had him on a raw diet because he wasn't able, all sorts of supplements and all sorts of stuff because he was allergic to whatever they use to put in every single kind of like pet food, dry food, whatever was kept it preserved, I guess. Didn't matter how organic or fresh it was, like explosive diarrhea, like that. But it was, the diarrhea was really difficult to manage because it would literally be like all over the walls, like everywhere. But it was like not having a solution until we were just like, forget it, we have to go raw, right? But trying all these different foods and like it was so stressful for everyone not having a solution. And finally we were like, okay, we're just gonna go raw. And our vet was great and helped us figure out a protocol and the whole bit. But I love that you just gave 4 solutions for people to try, because sometimes it's not necessarily the anxiety. You're like, okay, I get my dog or cat has anxiety. How do I help them? It's the not knowing how to help them that's the hardest part, I think, is a parent or pet parent or any kind of parent. You don't ever want to see your babies struggling or in pain. So I love that you gave 4 very simple, easy things that we can start doing right away. So do you help, is it dogs and cats mainly, or do you help like all kinds of animals? Like what kinds of animals do you treat?
So I do dogs and cats. So focus on those 2. That's plenty for me right now. So
when you in vet school, were there like horses or chickens or like,
yes,
yeah,
I learned everything. So in New Zealand, we used to have, actually on our little property, we had chickens and we had sheep and we raised lambs. So we did all of that like care ourselves. So random little fact about me. But yeah, we learned everything. And then you specialize kind of like where you want to go in your final year. So pick dogs and cats. And I love that. And we didn't have, so New Zealand doesn't have snakes. So I actually didn't really do anything with snakes. And so I don't touch snakes. But I'm not,
I'm with you.
yeah, I'm good with like no snakes. So they're beautiful creatures, but I don't treat them. So, but there's so many amazing things that we can do with dogs and cats, and it's always changing. Like that's the really neat thing. And there's so many different areas of holistic medicine that I can continue just to like develop and go into. It's just like the world is yours. There's like never ending. There's not enough time like to learn it all. I love it.
Right now, have you been able to connect with other holistic vets? You have good support systems to be able to do what you do?
Yeah, so we have an annual conference that most of us will go to. So it's great to meet up with people there. And then there are a few in Colorado. So connecting with them and keeping those connections open. And then I do have conventional vets that I partner with also, which is really good, that don't necessarily know how to do holistic, but they're open to it. And they refer patients for integrative care, and it's fantastic. So that's the goal, like refer back and forth, because I actually don't do everything that a normal veterinarian does. I don't do vaccines. I don't do blood draws. I just do acupuncture, herbal medicine, nutritional plans. I can create wellness plans. But the goal is to make sure like we work with those conventional vets. So like we have to. I don't do everything. And I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
So
I love that. And that's the whole thing, is the team. You want to have, no matter whether it's your care or loved one's care or your pet's care, you want to know there is a team, that if it's not something you can do, somebody else can. Or especially like you said, people are staying in their lane. You can't be an expert at everything and be good at everything and know everything. You're staying in the lane that you're passionate about and that you're good at and that you love to do. And that's why people know to go to you for that. You're not going to be spaying and neutering and doing that, it's like you're staying in your lane. I love that so much. So if you've got a pet that is stressed or there's just something going on, right, Katie, they can learn more about you at www.thenaturalpetdoctor.com. You've got tell me about your online membership. So exciting.
Yes. So we actually have a couple different options for our pet parent membership. So we have a 2-week free trial for a Healthy Paws membership. So we do monthly live webinars every single month. And so that includes access to that. We have live Q&As. You get access to the entire library of all the media. There's resources. There's a monthly action plan that you get also. You get access to those webinars too, and any special events that we do, and bonus videos and bonus content. We also have a private membership forum and a private Facebook group if you're on Facebook. So you join a like-minded community of pet parents that I help support. So you can ask each other questions, you can bounce ideas off of each other, and you've got me there to help guide that. So that way we can help each other and help your pets. We also have another VIP part of that membership where if you want an additional 60 minutes Q&A with me every single month, in addition to that live monthly webinar on a different pet topic, you can access that too. And then you can get discounts on, you can get specials on your consultations, free shipping on herbal medicine. There's lots of bonuses that come with that also. So I love our pet membership. So I'd love for people to be a part of it.
I love that you're doing that. From, again, the business strategist, content marketer, digital person in me is like, yes, you know, because that's the thing. When you've got something that works, we want to be able to serve people all over the world with it. And creating that community is what it's all about. I remember with our dog, he was a Great Pyrenees, and it was like they had this little, well, I guess it wasn't little, but Facebook group that literally said like Great Pyrenees dogs are the best dogs. I'm sure every breed has their little like Facebook groups, right? But it was so fun to be in that, and the conversation and the pictures, and even when a loved one, like when the pet died, we were able to like grieve together, and community, just as moms, like human moms need people, like pet moms need people too, right? So I love that there's that community aspect with it.
Yes. It is fantastic. I love it. So I love all my people. So
I know that they love you. I don't even have to take a poll. Oh my gosh. So listeners, hello, you're out there. My goodness. I don't know about you, but I loved this podcast. I love that it was stress for the whole family. We can reduce, and ways to know how we can, just that part about setting the routine. We forget sometimes about the most simplistic things to go back to when you're plunked into a stressful time, when you're just, you don't even have time to plan. You're literally plunked into the middle of a new reality. Go back to those routines, right? You can reduce a lot of stress doing it that way. So I hope you will take advantage of Katie. I hope you'll get in her membership. I hope you will pick her brain. I will include that blog post that she said about the CBD, because again, I know that's a hot topic right now, and we want to do our best for ourselves and our pets. So we'll make sure that I have that there. And Dr. Katie Woodley, thank you so much for being here with me today.
thank you so much, Lisa. I enjoyed it. It was great. Thank you for having me.
You're the best. So thank you, listeners out there, for tuning in again. Be well, and we will catch you next time on the Lisa Pezik Show. Bye for now.